Hi, welcome to my beautiful mess. This is Mary. I want to thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to go through the Budget Planner Companion. And, I kind of was late in the game filming this video, partly because I was late in the game buying it. I felt kind of awkward spending money on something for a budget. Like, kind of defeatist, right? Like spending money when you're trying to be saving money. But I just got it, and I just kind of wanted to show you what's in it. I'm sure there are probably other videos out there that cover it, but I just wanted to give you some ideas of how to use it and what's actually in it. So all the planner companions come with this like reminder bracelet. And so this one says, wear this bracelet as a reminder to be intentional with your spending and conscious of where your money goes. So that's really cute. This one says, this little folder, they all come with a folder, all the planner companions. And this one says, girls just want to have fun. It's super cute. It's foiled. You can see that. Really cute. And I'm not going to I haven't gotten rid of any of the folders, but I'm definitely not going to get rid of this one because I plan on using it for bills. So on this side, I'm going to actually put like the bills that I need to deal with and that kind of stuff. And then on this side, I'm going to put stuff that needs to be filed away. And then anything that needs to be shredded, I'm just going to take straight to the shredder. So I'm going to repurpose that. Okay, so what we have here, we have 4 plastic envelopes. And I think these are great for a cash envelope system. If you're unfamiliar with that, I'll explain it really quickly. Dave Ramsey, lots of other financial advisors kind of recommend as a way of helping you control your expendable income that you use a cash envelope system. And the idea behind it is just that with debit cards and credit cards, we just kind of keep swiping away and we don't really pay attention to the money that's going out of our accounts. So they recommend making a budget, particularly for your expendable income. So this isn't like, mortgage or rent. This is stuff where you have like a hard time controlling how much you spend. You set a budget, you get that cash that was part of your budget. So let's say you budget, I don't know, $100, on like Mad Money, or 100, maybe it's just $50 a month for planner supplies or something like that. I don't know. It's wherever you have a hard time spending. Maybe it's your coffee at Starbucks. But you put that money in the envelope, and then throughout the month, as you spend, you take it straight out of the envelope. So there's no debit card usage, no credit card usage. And then once you're done, like once you go through the money, you go through the money. Like that's it. You don't get to spend any more, and you have to wait until the next month to replenish it. And that's supposed to help you kind of see that your money is like leaving, and you only have so much, and you maybe make better choices as to whether or not you really want to spend it. So you get 4 of those envelopes. If you didn't want to use it for that, you could use it for receipts, or maybe you keep some stamps in there to pay bills, if you still pay through the mail. So there's different ways you can use the envelopes. And if you're worried about them being secure enough, all the envelopes have kind of this like lip enclosure, and you just tuck it right in. And honestly, I've been using this for a long time, and I've been using some different ones for cash, and they're pretty secure. So I think unless you like stuff it, I think you won't have any problems keeping cash in there. But there's this one. So this one says mindset. I can and I will. And the design carries over to the back. And then if not now, then when? And there's the back. Know your worth. It's this cute little stripe rainbow. And then you have this geo circle print that says small progress is still progress. And there's the back. Okay. Okay, sorry. So next we have, I'm just going to move that off to the side there. Next we have the paper that's in here, and that is financial goals. So this is kind of like a vision board, but it's really, I think, less visual and more like writing down your goals. So you have your year up here, and then you have next month, next quarter, next 6 month, and next year. And so, you can use this different ways. Maybe next month is just like, I'm going to make a budget Like I'm going to actually see what's coming in and out. And maybe next quarter is I want to be utilizing that budget, every month. And then maybe your next 6 months is I want to start cutting back on some stuff, or I want to start saving, or what have you. And then next year can be, okay, I want to have, a certain amount saved by next year or something like that. And then on the back, I'm sorry, I got something cut in my throat. On the back, you have a vision map. So these are more like long-term goals. So like you have 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years. So maybe, 2 or 5 years, you're looking at maybe paying off a car or saving for a house. And maybe 10 years, it's like maybe you want your retirement to be at a certain level, or maybe you're buying a house for the first time. So there's different things like that. Maybe it's paying off a student loan, right? We all want to get those taken care of. Okay. Next we have your bill schedule, and there's 2 months on each page, and then on the back you have the same. So it's double-sided, and you get 1, 2, 3 pages of those. So that would be 12 months total. So a full year, and then you would put your month here, and then you'd fill in the dates, and then you'd put like your bills and when they're like. This is really helpful, especially I think for like automatic payments, so when stuff's coming out of your account. And I think it's really helpful to see it visually on a calendar, because you may not realize that you have a lot of stuff coming out at one time of the month. So like maybe you don't think you do, but you've got like stuff coming out on the 30th and the 31st, and then you've got stuff that's billing on the 1st too. So, you may not realize that it's coming out of the same paycheck. So a lot of companies and like a lot of bill collectors, they'll actually let you defer a payment and then reset a date, like a different date. Like if you ask them, a lot of them will work with you. So, you can, if you've got everything coming out, the end of the month, first of the month, and then you've got that paycheck's really strained, and then, your next paycheck on the 15th, like really isn't that bad. You could potentially move some stuff over to the 15th and give you some breathing room. So that's, I think seeing it visually is really, really helpful. So you get, a full year of that. Okay, next you have debt repayment. So on here, they were talking about like accounts that you're trying to pay down. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts on one side, and then it's double-sided. So here you would put the account name, and then once you pay it off, you'll check it. These are months here. So I'm assuming you could use that for like your balance, like as it's dropping, every month as you're paying it off. You've got your interest rate here. And it's important to look at your interest rate, because that actually tells you what's a priority. If you've got a really high interest rate on something, number one, you don't want to be late, making a payment, but you also want to get it paid off faster if you can. So you put your interest rate here. That kind of helps you prioritize which accounts you want to pay off first. Your beginning balance, and then your end of year balance. So you get one sheet of that. And then you have a savings tracker. And your savings tracker, it's basically like a half sheet on each one. So you've got saving for, and then your amount needed, that would be your goal, and then target date, so your goal by when, and then your starting balance. And you don't have to put it in a bank account. Like you have your date here and your deposit, and then you would keep like a running balance. But if you didn't want to put it in a bank, you could use your envelopes. You could your deposit is what you're putting in the envelope, and you can keep track of it that way. So there's that. You get basically two columns, and it's double-sided. So that would be 4 things that you like want to save for. And then we have a no spend tracker. And these you get 2 months per page, and then they're double-sided, and then you get 3 of those. So again, you'd have a full year. A full year of no spends. And I think some people get kind of confused with no spends. They're like, well, I need electricity and I need water. So that's not really what no spends are. Like no spend months are really months where you're going to challenge yourself not to spend on anything extra. So the expendable income So, that might be planner supplies, that might be, maybe you've got a Starbucks addiction or something like that, and you're gonna vow not to spend anything for a month. So you could change it up month per month if you wanted to. Some people some people are like rock stars and they're like, I'm not gonna spend on anything ever like this month. Which is great if you can do that and you can cold turkey yourself like that. But I sometimes think it's just better if you take something, like one thing that you're like splurging on too much. Like for me, it would be planner supplies, right? Like I need to like control that. So you could put your month and then you would put like, I'm not going to spend it on coffee, or I'm not going to spend it on clothes, or whatever your guilty pleasure is. And then down here you have like the days of the week, and you can do it different ways. You can, like, I like to highlight them. I use my mild liners and I like to highlight all the dates where I achieved it. Or maybe you want to do it the opposite way, where you want to either cross it off or highlight the days where you go over budget and you spend when you shouldn't. And so you want to look at that and be like, wow, these are all the days I didn't do it, and I really need to buckle down. So there's different ways you can do that. And then here you have a report back. So like, how did it go this month? And you can write down, obviously how you did, but you can also write down things like, what tempted you and what was hard and where did you struggle? Did you struggle on, paydays, where that you felt like that money was burning a hole in your pocket? So you can talk about that kind of stuff there and just kind of, be realistic with yourself and honest with yourself as to where you're struggling or where you did really well. You're like, hey, I drove by Michael's 10 times and I didn't go in once. So you can use that space for either one. And so you get a full year, that's 12 months on that one. And then here you have a budget review. And this is almost like a profit and loss statement if you had a business. Like, it tells you, here are your months, and it just is just like an overview of where you are financially. So like your income, like what kind of money do you have coming in? And you would like include all your income streams. So if you've got like a side business or you like got an Etsy shop, like that's a good way to like figure out how much money you actually have coming in. And then you'd put your expenses there, which you would get from like your budget, and and then you'd have your savings. So like what's actually left. And I don't actually like to look at savings that way. I don't like to save what's left. My dad always used to say, you pay yourself first. So that means you put, as soon as you get your paycheck, you put your money away. It's your money. You pay yourself first with that money. And then everything, then you like work out your bills. But my dad and we budgeted and figured out how much we should have left. And my dad would say, you put that away. And you put that certain savings away, and then what's left of that, that's what you spend. That's what you can spend on like, your mad money and that kind of stuff. Okay, so going off on a tangent. So there's one page here. It's not double-sided. It just has like lined, pretty colorful paper on the back. And then these are notes and things. And this feels a lot bigger than 10 sheets, a lot more than 10 sheets, but it's supposed to be 10 sheets. And you've got 7 blocks here. You could use them for days of the week. And then you've got some lined paper here. And then on the back, you've just got some graph paper. So there's that. Okay, next on the side, we've got a vision board. So this is more like if you're someone like me who loves to see like your vision and like pictures. So down here you have motivation, and this is just kind of like a graphed area. And then you've got some white space up here. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this space down here, and I'm gonna put the floor plan of my dream house. Like I found, like the most perfect floor plan that I love. And y'all, I have a big, beautiful house. Like I'm so grateful for what I have, but I want to like push myself to the next level, right? So I'm gonna print it off. Like I found it online. I'm gonna print it off, and I'm just gonna, stick it right here so that I see it and remember why I'm saving the money, like why I'm trying to discipline myself. So, it can be all kinds of things. Maybe it's a vacation. So you put a picture of your favorite vacation spot or something like that. So that's just different ways you could use that. On this side, you have a savings jar. So this has 2 columns here. You would put what you're saving for here. And then you have your months on the side. And then here it's really light, it's hard to see, but you've got 2 columns. And then a total. So if you get paid bi-weekly, it's like, twice a month, you could actually put how much you're saving per paycheck, like one here from the 1st and then the other one from the 15th, and then there's your total. And then you'd have like a running total of how much you're saving. So there's that. Okay, next is a goal sheet. And this is still kind of part of the vision board, and it's like cardstock. It's really thick. But you would it says, hey there, what is your short-term goal? So maybe your short-term goal is like just making a budget. Maybe you're just going to start simply and be like, I've never had a budget before, and I'm going to start by just making a budget and sticking to it. And your long-term goal, maybe it's paying down an account or buying a house or paying off a car or buying a car, maybe saving up for a down payment. There's lots of things that you can make your long-term goal. Maybe it's really long-term goal. Maybe it's like a retirement and what you want retirement to look like. So, you can use that for your ideas. And then down here it says, I can and I will, and you've got a little blank spot. And then on the back, you have saving for. So this could be another place where you put pictures of like your goals. And you've got kind of numbered here. And this is actually like silver foiled. So you could actually like list some stuff here. And then down here, you have inspiration. And, motivation and inspiration to me are kind of similar. So it feels a little redundant. But maybe you could put like some quotes, things that inspire you, things that make you feel determined, make you want to save. So that's just another way you could use that. And then here you have like a dashboard. It's like a dry erase board. I love these. Not everybody's a fan, but some people like complained when they first came out with them, I don't know, a couple years ago. And it was really because they would write with a dry erase marker, and then as you put it into your planner, like it depends how much you open and close it, but it would close, people would close their planner and it would kind of smudge. And so my advice to you is to use a wet erase marker, like vis-a-vis or something like that you would use like for an overhead projector, because that stops the whole smudging issue. And they write just as nice, if not a little nicer than the dry erase markers. But you have here your weekly expenses, then your totals, and you have your week here, your date, these are your bills, your date, your description, and your amount, and then your needs and your wants are here. And then on the back, you basically just have dot grid, and then you have a little don't forget section on the back. So you can use that, and you can use it as a dashboard too. Okay, and then last piece is you have a folder, and the folder's double-sided. And it just has this cute little geo pattern and a stripe pattern. So that's it. That is the budget planner companion. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I hope I've given you some ideas on how you might, use some of these sheets. I hope you're inspired. I hope you feel determined, wanting to save some money and pay some stuff off. Thank you so much for watching. Before you leave, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up for this video so I know if you like it or not. And then before you leave, please take a moment and subscribe, because I would love for us to be planner friends. So thank you so much.